Hi, friends at the GNP Sir Classes. We have different faculties in the animal science who prepare you for the animal science JRF. And today we are going to meet the faculty and listen to their lectures. So we have Dr. Priyanka who has completed her PhD in LPM, and she will be producing videos for you, and she will be teaching at the GNP Sir classes, online classes. Then for AGB we have Dr. Ishmeet, who also is PhD in AGB, and then for animal nutrition, we have Dr. Pramod, who is assistant professor at Bihar and also PhD in animal nutrition. We also have Dr. Swagat Mahapatra, who is the assistant professor at Odisha, also PhD in veterinary physiology. We have Dr. Kamal, who is PhD in veterinary extension education, and we have Dr. Brij Mohan Rawat, who is the faculty at the Seeker College, and he is also PhD in LPT. So we have this learned faculty, and they are taking lectures. Listen to their lectures. How do they take their lectures for preparation for JRF? So uh, listen to the lectures, and if you like this video, kindly share and subscribe GNP Sir Classes official YouTube channel. Nice to see you. Kindly do subscribe, do give your shares and likes. Now, listen to the individual lectures how Dr. Priyanka, how Dr. Ishmeet, how Dr. Pramod are taking the lectures at the GNP Sir classes. Right? So, come and meet them.
Subject livestock production management, I will be discussing the second unit, that is livestock production management ruminants. Here I am covering the housing management of the livestock, especially related to the cattle, buffalo, sheep and goat, and cattle and buffalo production and sheep and goat productions. So why we need the livestock house? We need the livestock house for the protection of the from the inclement weather or adverse climatic condition from the predators. Economics wise, it is very easy to manage the animal because they will not roam here and there. Third, it gives the good health and comfort to the animal. And fourth, efficient it is efficient needed for the efficient management of the farm because there are various operations were there in the farm. So for the milking, for the cleaning, efficient management will be there. So we need the livestock house. So what are the points for considering the livestock house? First, we have to select the site where will the livestock house will be constructed. So for selection of the sites, we have to consider the topography of that area and the drainage facility of the area. It should be good drainage facility. The soil type, it should be fertile, porous. Exposure to the sun, it should have a good exposure to the sun, and it should protect from the prevailing wind. The area should be like that, easily accessible to the labor. With the labor we can get easily. Nearby market should be easily accessible so that we can purchase something like feed and fodder, or we can sell the products like milk, meat or whatever. Water supply should be there because we need more water for doing the farm activities. Surrounding should be noise free, pollution free, and ample and good supply of the electricity for running the various machinery in the farm. Now we had selected the site. Now we have to arrange the various farm buildings in that site. So first we have to consider the location of the farmer's house or the farm office. So it should be placed in such area or should be constructed in such a place of that land so that we can have access to each and every part of the farm, and we can decide where we can reach easily to each corner of the farm. The orientation of the various buildings. So orientation of the various building, it is recommended the length of the animal shed should be in the east-west direction so that we can get the maximum exposure of the sun, and it should protect from the prevailing winds. The wind direction we have to consider easily accessible to the labor, accessibility to the market, and it should fire protection should be there then. Here, I'd already explained that long axis of the shed should be in east to west direction, so that the paddock area, that is the open area, should go to the north side, and we can get the direct sunlight during winter, and it will prevent the entry of the direct sunlight into the shed during other season. Now, there are various types of the houses. First is conventional on Stenkin bands. Here, we are confining the animal at one place and securing them at the neck by the chains or the Stenkins. It is generally preferred in the temperate Himalayan region because there the cold season is there, cold prevailing cold winds were there, so we have to protect the animal from the prevailing cold winds. Generally, in conventional Stenkin bun, if the number of the animals is more than 12 to 16, then the double row system for the housing is generally used. If we are using double row, we have to consider that this double row. So in double row also two types of arrangement we I'll be discussing in the next slides. Here, in conventional barn, the animal is staying in the same house, and the milking is also doing in the same shed itself. So the distance between the two sheds should not be more than 30 feet, or it should be twice the height of the building, so that the each.
This portion majorly comprises of the statistical things, and most of the things are easy to do. Simple mathematics involved, simple things are there, and moreover that nowadays the pattern of the questions are shifted towards reason accession type questions. So if you don't have the conceptual depth, you might have choose the wrong answer, because the questions are framed in such a way that you will always land on the wrong answer. So this topic is very easy and maximum scoring topic, 2 3 questions always from these topics. So here, if we'll break down, there is central tendency, measures of dispersions, okay, classification and tabulation of the data. No need to study this one. This is very important. Central tendency is very important. These are, we'll cover it from this topic. 2 questions I have seen. And binomial distribution, Poisson distribution, normal distribution, skewness, movements, correlation and regression, sampling methods, test, t-test, z-test, ANOVA, chi-square, CRD, complete randomized block design, RBD, randomized block design, f-test. Total, this thing is only comprises of the basic mathematical portion, and rest of the things I'll leave on you. These things, the MS Word, Excel, and the PowerPoint, I guess in the masters, in your UG also you guys have been exposed to these softwares. And simple questions will come, that what is the command for loading the data in the Excel format, what is, how to do summation in the Excel, what is PowerPoint. This sort of things you need to have a little bit of idea.
Feeding of um, equalized pair feeding or pair feeding. There are some terminology, slaughter experiment and protein requirement of slaughter experiment versus protein requirement of growth. These are the some feeding experiment uh, by which we calculate or we determine the quantity of any tested feed. And the 2 and 3 terms like FCR and or feed efficiency, the major factor which we are calculated for the animals, like in the poultry, in case of poultry and swine, it is major, it utilize the FCR and feed efficiency. So the terms I also discuss later. So what are the major, how to how to measure digestibility, or what is a digestibility? The portion of feed or nutrient present in the feed that is not excreted in the feces of the animals, that is called digestible. That part of feed which are not present in the feces, either it is absorbed by the animals, that is called digestibility. And digestibility may be expressed in the percentage, may be expressed in the kg. So in both terms are utilized for the unit of the digestibility. And another term that is true digestibility, the digestibility which the fecal samples which comes from the animals having the different part rather than the feed part, like mucus layers, the some tissue of the mucus, and there are so many enzymes released in the stomach. So that contains, that is a uh, divided, that is subtracted from the uh, uh, intake, that is called appendicitility, and it is always lesser than the true digestibility. So you must remember the what is the difference between true and appendicitility. The appendicitility is always smaller than the true digestibility, because true digestibility is always higher, because the factor which is produced in the rumen or GIT, it is subtracted. So true digestibility is always higher than the appendicitility. And there are two terms, that is the digestion trial and metabolic trial. But the difference between digestion trial and metabolic trial. So in digestion trial, only digestibility of any feed we can test it. So and in metabolic trial, where metabolism of the any feed we can test it, means the losses through the fecal or urine both calculated in the metabolic trial, while in digestion trial only fecal losses um, uh, is calculated. So that is a major difference between the digestion trial and metabolic trial. Metabolic trial is mainly doing for the animals which having the different output of was in case of poultry, we generally do metabolic trial.
Percent of the cardiac output. So you can see blood coming out from this aorta, they are reaching the renal artery, they are entering into the kidneys. You can well appreciate the left and the right kidney. The smooth muscle of the urinary bladder is known as the detrusor muscles. This is also one of the objective questions that is asked sometimes. The medullary portions of the collecting tubules are known as the collecting ducts. This is one I want to clarify, that you must have heard about these collecting tubules. When these collecting tubules enter the renal medulla, they are known as the collecting ducts. And the external sphincter, which lies beyond the neck, it is composed of skeletal muscle. This is also one of the important things you must remember, that the sphincter, it is definitely a skeletal muscle which is under your voluntary control. But the detrusor muscle of the urinary bladder, that is basically smooth muscle. This is the position of these detrusor muscles. This is the external urethral sphincter, which is a skeletal muscle. This is the cortex of the kidney. This is the medulla of the kidney, and this is the renal pelvis. So whatever urine is being formed by the nephrons, they are ultimately coming to this renal pelvis, and then they are drained out through this ureter into this urinary bladder. So if you go into more anatomically, you can well appreciate this is a nephron. Now these are called the papillae, the renal cortex, the renal medulla. This is the renal pelvis, and this is the ureter, which is draining the urine into the urinary bladder. Now the functional unit of kidney is the nephron. And if you see the distribution of blood vessels in the kidneys, we are having the segmental arteries first, then the interlobar arteries, and before that I must tell you that these segmental arteries, they are drained by this, or they are first renal arteries entering into the kidneys, they are distributed, or they are getting divided into these segmental arteries. Then here comes the interlobar arteries, and then comes the arcuate arteries, then comes the interlobular arterioles. As you understand the distribution of the vascular tree, like heart pumps blood, it goes to the aorta. The aorta now divides into different arteries. The arteries now divide into different arterioles. The arterioles now go into these capillaries. Then after that comes the venules, then the veins, then the superior and inferior vena cava, through which blood gets back into the heart, into the right atrium. So here comes another question, that these interlobular arterioles, they basically go on to form this afferent arteriole, right? This was also one of the questions being asked, that is what is the blood vessel which is the origin of this afferent.
And most of the questions they used to ask from definitions only. So here you need to mug up some keywords of those definitions. You know, if you are not able to cram the whole definition, at least you remember those keywords so that you can identify the correct option in the question. My voice is clear? So we'll start with the definition of culture. So what is culture? They are the shared beliefs, values, our customs, behaviors and artifacts that characterize a particular group of people, nation or ethnicity. Like, for example, tribal people, they have a unique culture. In every religion, we have a unique culture of wearing clothes, eating habits, etc. They all are part of culture. And remember one thing, culture is inherited traditions and patterns of behavior over the generations. Culture transfer from one generation to next generation. So there are various elements of culture. Means what is called culture? So culture includes symbols, means the words, gestures, objects or images. They are part of culture, like Madhubani painting in Bihar, Patachitra painting in Odisha. They are all part of culture. Then comes the values. As we used to discuss that my values does not allow me to do such a to do a particular thing. So means they are deeply held belief about what is good, right, and desirable, and it varies from person to person. They are not universal. My values may be different from others. Your value can differ from me. So values, they are individually held beliefs by different persons. Then third is the norms, means informal rules of behavior. They guide the people how to interact with each other, means like how to sit, give respect to the elders, table manners, means how to eat, uh, like these are examples of norms. Then institutions. You just need to remember the highlighted words. These are keywords that will help you to identify the correct option in the exam. What are the institutions? They are social organizations that perpetuate culture, norms and values. Means they help in transferring the cultural values from one generation to the next, like family system. Father and mother used to teach their children about the values. That's why home is called the first school of the child. Second, education system means school. School, what kind of values school impart? Like discipline, character building. So they are all part of imparted by the education system, that is schools. Then comes the language. Each and every tribes, each and every caste, religion, they all have their own set of communication, system of communication that is unique to